Hello interwebs, and thanks for tuning into TradeChat. My name's Panzer, and today I am here with World of Warcraft lead quest designer Dave Kosak to talk about patch 5.4. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, remember to rate it thumbs up. Dave Kosak is the lead quest designer for World of Warcraft, and today I am lucky enough to be here talking to him about patch 5.4. Now before I get into the questions, I want to make sure everybody knows who you are, so if you want to introduce yourself, tell a joke, whatever, floor is yours.
No, I'm Dave Kosak. I sometimes go as Fargo on the forums, and that's me.
That's you.
Hey.
So everybody knows patch 5.4 is coming. Is it correct, September 10th?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, well, September 10th, so that's what, 2 weeks away? Very exciting. I can't believe it's September already. That's crazy. The Timeless Isles is the new PvE area in patch 5.4. And now, interestingly enough, this is not a daily quest area. So what is it exactly that you do on the Timeless Isles?
Timeless Isle is sort of another of our experiments. Similar to Battlefield Barons, we're really looking for ways to keep people max level content that they can do that's not dungeons or raids, that kind of gets them out in the environment, out in the world, and hopefully grouping up. So Timeless Isle is really about exploration and collecting and really cool combat. So the idea is that the island has lots of really dynamic events going on around you. There's lots of rare spawns, there's rare treasure chests, there's lots of bosses. And there's these events that'll happen around you. It might be a giant dread pirate ship emerges from the sea, and you can have a big fight with it, and there's a cool trinket that drops out of it. So that kind of thing is going to be going on all the time. It's a really challenging island. So if you come in there with a fresh level 90, look out. The monsters are really tough, which also again encourages people to group up. There's lots of buffs and things you can get around the island. There's lots of fruits or magic crystals or things that you can click on to give your character some more power, so that you can explore deeper and deeper into the island, where it gets harder and harder. And in fact, toward the top of the island, where one of the special world bosses is Ordos, this kind of Yongle fire god, is up there. Really tough area. You'll probably want to group, similar to the Isle of Giants with the dinosaurs. You probably want to group just to venture up there, but the rewards scale up as you get up there. So there's a lot to do. What we're trying to do is figure out cool content that you can do with your max level character that isn't just a whole bunch of blue daily quest banks. And so really excited to see what people think about once they get on there on live. We've had some good experience with the PTR so far. Really excited to see what people think of it.
Now, I find that particularly interesting because I know a lot of people, it's funny because during that Mists of Pandaria beta, everybody was so excited, like no limit on daily questing, this is amazing. And then as soon as Mists of Pandaria hit, everybody was like, oh my God, so many daily quests, this is the worst, da da da. So I think it's really cool to see that you guys are actually taking that feedback into consideration and making all of these events that are not necessarily just monotonous daily quests, and that you're working harder to make sure people can group up and have that sense of community once again. And that kind of makes me curious. I know it is a PvE area with world bosses and rare spawns and all of that. Is it a sanctuary zone, or will there be world PvP enabled on the Timeless Isles?
It is, it depends on your server type. I mean, certainly we expect there to be a lot of PvP on the PvP servers. If you're on a PvE server, you're going to be fairly safe from getting ganked. However, there is one special thing you can do. Let me see. I can't remember the exact mechanics, but if you talk to the Yongle up at the top of the island, there's a special orb you can get that turns you into sort of a Yongle fire creature, and then you're friendly with the Yongle faction, and you are enemies of all player characters on the island.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. Now we might decide not to put that on live. We were playing around with it, so we'll see. But there's some crazy things that happen there. Then you can collect items off of the players that you try and kill. The players will have to be flagged PvP, so that's something you'll probably see more of on PvP servers than PvE servers. But
yeah, I'm on a high population PvP server, so I can see that.
Oh man, it'll be crazy. So yeah, so we're trying again. We are always experimenting with the game, and we're always trying some different things and some different flavors of content to see what's really working for people. And that's really kind of the story of 5.0. Well, it's the story of the World of Warcraft in general, but definitely we've been experimenting all along. And in fact, to your point earlier about daily quests, we certainly after Cataclysm we felt that the game needed more content to do with your max level character that wasn't dungeons or raids. And so we tried a lot of experiments with 5.0, and we had a lot of different types of factions and different kinds of things you can do. Anywhere from the Golden Lotus, which had like 120 daily quests in a whole zone, to things like the farm, where the Tillers faction, where you had some daily quests, but you also had a farm that you were developing, which was tied into your professions and some other things that you could do. And we had some mixed success with that. So, I think that people found like Golden Lotus was way too repetitive. And we found that based on the rewards you get from dailies, they can feel not optional. And we wanted them to feel optional. We wanted them to feel like bonus content. And a lot of people felt obliged to do them. So we took a lot of those lessons forward. We learned a lot of things. We learned a lot of things from the 5.1 dailies, for instance. People really liked the story quests that would appear every so often. We took all those lessons forward, and we really, the lesson again is we want max level content. We want really strong max level content, but we also we kind of want to change the tone of it. So you'll definitely see lots of this kind of thing going forward, and we're going to keep experimenting with it.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that on the Timeless Isle, you don't earn the same type of rewards that you did through dailies. It's not like a rep grind. It's not unlocking vendors. You earn, they're called Timeless Coins?
That's right.
And now what do you buy with those?
There's a whole series of rewards, and I don't have a list in front of me. There's a lot of pets and toys and fun stuff. There's a lot of stuff also used on the island. And I think you can also get some chances of gear as well. I don't have the full list with me, but I think it's been pretty documented from the PTR already. So there's a lot of things you can do with the coins. There's also a couple weekly quests on there, so that you do have kind of a reason to go back and jump into the island every so often. And lots of sort of hidden treasures on the island as well. So it's not just about grinding for coins. I mean, there's lots of things hidden on the island as well.
So that wraps up us talking about the Timeless Isle, which I'm super, super excited about. And what everybody wants to know now is how Raytheon's legendary quest line is going to continue in patch 5.4.
So the legendary quest line continues. Now, one difference between this legendary quest and say like the Fangs of the Father quest that we did in patch 4.3 is, we want you to get the legendary not at the end of the expansion where you can't really use it anymore, but at the beginning of this last patch. So if you're caught up and you're caught up with all the 5.3 challenges that Wrathion gave you, and you're ready for 5.4, you should be able to pretty quickly upgrade your cloak to legendary. Wrathion's going to send you to the Timeless Isle. You're going to need to do some things for him over there. You're going to need to beat some of the world bosses, so there's some challenges there. But then you'll be able to use your legendary cloak for most of your 5.4 raiding cycle. That's the hope. That's the anticipation. So he's not going to send you into Siege of Orgrimmar to grind a lot of stuff. He's going to get you your cloak first, and then you can go to Siege of Orgrimmar with it. So that's pretty exciting. The other thing that you can do with your legendary cloak is at the very top of the Timeless Isle, the sort of Yongle fire god Ordos. You can only access that area if you have the legendary cloak. You'll get some dragon wings that'll fly you over to that area. So it's kind of an exclusive club for the legendary players. That's pretty cool. One nice thing is if you earn your legendary on one character, we'll allow your alts to also fly over to that part of the island in case you want to. Yeah, that's the legendary. You also will wrap up that story. We'll kind of see what Wrathion has been planning and how Wrathion reacts to the events from Siege of Orgrimmar. So that is all embedded into this patch. Excited about that. What did you think of the legendary? What do you think of it so far?
I personally have kind of not been in a guild that I've been able to raid with, so when it all first started, I was like, well, there's no point in me doing this quest line since I won't be able to raid, not even considering the fact that I could have done it in LFR, and then I found out that one of the items that drops off of Ordos is bearing the name Panzer, so of course I wanted it, and I'm so far behind in the quest. So right now I'm trying to catch up. I think I'm caught up to almost the end of 5.2 content, so I'm about a whole patch behind.
Most of the legendary materials will drop from Siege of Orgrimmar, so even if you're just playing Siege of Orgrimmar, you should be able to kind of continue that quest.
Wow, okay.
The 5.3 challenges were fairly short, so if you're kind of finishing up what was in 5.2, you should be able to catch up.
Now, the legendary cloaks have like some of the most amazing animation effects of like anything in the entire game. They are so awesome. Whoever designed those, give them a raise because they are so great. Are they going to be transmoggable?
I don't believe. I think we're sticking to the policy that legendaries aren't transmoggable. So
I'm starting a petition. I'm starting a petition. You can't stop me. Because those are amazing. I would want to use those forever. I mean, the effects on those are like nothing else in game. They are so cool.
Yeah, but you know, one thing we like about legendaries is they all kind of have a period of time where they have their peak of power. So you'll see the people that really stuck with Pandaria throughout will have legendary cloaks, and you'll see a lot of those throughout Pandaria. And then in the next expansion, then it'll move on to whatever the new legendary is.
All right, moving on from the legendary cloaks to the actual Siege of Orgrimmar. Now, in the Siege of Orgrimmar, the Veil of Eternal Blossoms becomes all corrupted, and that's where the beginning of the raid starts. Now, my question is, how exactly does a raid group move from the Veil of Eternal Blossoms to Orgrimmar? How does the traveling take place? Is it phased? Is there like a crazy Zeppelin ride in the middle? Can you tell me that? Is that a secret?
Well, fortunately, after the events of 5.2, both the Alliance and Horde have either the Sun Reavers or the Kirin Tor are angling, are supporting you. So when you finish cleansing what you can of the Veil and you're ready to actually move on to Orgrimmar, we're going to have some mages open up some portals for you. So the action will flow freely right from one to the other. So you'll go right from the Veil onto the ships themselves that are in the middle of this sort of D-Day invasion of Blade Fist Bay.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. And you know, another question I had about this, you know, the placement of the raid, is that I know that Garrosh's new lair is in Ragefire Chasm. I'm terrible with words. How will that affect the low-level instance, or will it not affect it at all?
So the low-level instance will stay the same.
Okay.
If you as you're playing through the raid, you'll blast down the gates of Orgrimmar. You'll storm in. You'll go down into the down to where Ragefire Chasm is, and then you'll see sort of his secret entrance nearby.
Oh, cool.
And you'll just kind of seamlessly flow right down into it, but it won't change Ragefire any.
Now, I know this isn't super 5.4 related, but how long have you guys known that like Thrall would go away, that Garrosh would take his place, and that Garrosh would be overthrown? Like, did you know in Burning Crusade that this was going to happen, or is it like an ongoing writing process?
We knew there was going to be a long-term Garrosh story arc, and we didn't know sort of when or how it would happen. So we certainly knew that from Burning Crusade. But sort of the timing of this one really came out of when we were talking about the Pandaren expansion and what we wanted to get out of it. We certainly wanted to present the Pandaren in a certain way, but we knew we needed a conflict, and we decided to make sure that conflict was centered around Alliance and Horde. And then it became really obvious that this was our opportunity to really have Garrosh step up as war chief and start causing so many problems for both the Alliance and Horde that he's got to go.
Yeah, and you can really see how much animosity there is against Garrosh in the 5.4 patch preview video. That was an awesome video. That was so great. And I thought, like, for anybody who had no idea what the lore was, someone who had never played the game, never even heard of World of Warcraft, I feel like you could have watched that, gotten caught up to speed on the storyline, and wanted to be involved. I mean, it was wonderful.
Yeah, I think our cinematics team did a terrific job with that, just really kind of capturing that moment, just that the hatred that is dripping off of Garrosh as he destroys the Veil.
Well, and he kicks the Taurens and the Trolls and the Blood Elves out of the Horde.
It's just not his vision of the Horde anymore, and he kind of sees that as the weakness that he's finally purging from the Horde, because he really has a vision of what the Horde can be.
Yeah, it was an excellent video. It made me a lot more excited for the patch. I mean, I was already excited because I'm a fangirl and this is what I do for my whole life. So I was obviously excited, but I mean, I shared that with everybody. I was like, oh, you gotta see this video. It's so cool. It's a really, really awesome job.
Thank you.
Can you give us any hints on who the next war chief will be?
Oh, that would definitely be a spoiler. But I'll tell you what, if you log in to patch 5.4, all you have to do is kill Garrosh, and you'll find out.
Oh, that's all you have to do.
All you have to
Easy
do.
peasy lemon squeezy.
All you have to do.
In patch 5.4, Blizzard is adding a third raid lockout. So you'll be able to do your normal heroic lockout, your LFR lockout, and a new lockout called Flexible. Now, flex raiding allows you to have anywhere between 10 and 25 people in a raid group, and the difficulty is adjusted based on how many people there are, and the loot is in between LFR and normal loot. So we're gonna ask Dave a couple questions about this because it's super exciting. Now, what is Blizzard's goal with flex raiding?
The best way to raid is with a group of friends. Like that's the ideal. That's the sweet spot. Is you get a really close knit group guild together and raid. That's the most fun in the game. We know that LFR doesn't really scratch that social itch, and we found that there were a lot of people that could get a group of friends together, but couldn't quite get a group to do normal. And there were all sorts of frustrations for the sort of family and friends guild that just wanted to play casually. And we really wanted to help that audience get together, have a lot of fun, stay out of LFR and play together instead. So flex raiding, as the name implies, just gives you total flexibility to do that. So if you have a guild, 15 people are logged in that night, you don't have to tell 5 of them to take a hike. You don't have to find 10 extras. You just get the 15 people that are there, and it doesn't matter if they're the best players in the world or not. You just everybody can get into the raid. We'll adjust the difficulty accordingly. We have a kind of a power curve there, so that more players is always better. You're never really screwed over by having an extra player in there. And then all the combat mechanics and the loot scale accordingly. We think that's really cool, and it's going to help a lot of people kind of get together in those organized guilds and keep those organized guilds going. And then ideally, once you get really good at it, then you're kind of like, hey, let's step up into normal. Then you can sort of form parties into normal. So it's another experiment for us, but we're excited about it. And I think it's a good social feature for the game that's going to really help people kind of keep these guilds together and sort of enjoy these raids as they're meant to be played.
So the reoccurring theme then of patch 5.4 seems to be trying to get people to play together and be more social, which I feel like has been kind of one of the complaints with LFG and LFR, is that we've lost that sense of community. And it seems like what a lot of patch 5.4 is trying to do is get people to start playing together again.
Yeah, I never want to go back. I never want to go back to the point where you go into a city and you can't even read the chat channel because it's all abbreviations. LF2M.
I missed that.
It's impossible to, it wasn't English. Like a new player coming into the game, it was just a secret code. So LFG has been huge for the game, and it's really helped a lot of people engage with the game and play the content. And same with LFR. So I don't want to get rid of it because, we don't want to get rid of it because it's an asset to the game. But at the same time, we started to notice how people were playing, and you were losing a little bit of that social element. We didn't like that. We wanted to make sure that you had plenty of opportunities to get together and play with your friends. So we've been looking at how we can get more content like the Timeless Isle, like the Isle of Giants, like flex raiding, that brings groups together playing again. So that's really, really important to us because it's not really an MMO without the M and the O.
That's great. It seems like you guys have really taken a lot of feedback into consideration with patch 5.4, like a lot. As a developer, what is it that you're looking forward to the most in patch 5.4? Like not from a player's standpoint, but from the hard work that you've put into this, what are you looking forward to seeing to come into fruition?
Oh, that's a tough question because let me see. Certainly, we just talked about flex raiding, and I'm really excited to see how much that changes the way people play. I'm really excited about flex raiding, and my guild might take advantage of that to help a lot of our guild members get more involved. But I think probably for me as lead quest designer, what I'm really interested in is the Timeless Isle and how engaging that is. I really like how Battlefield Barons turned out, although it had kind of a short fuse. I think most people felt like they saw the content after a week or two. and it wasn't, super evergreen, repeatable. Whereas I think Timeless Isle has a lot of depth to the reward structure, a lot of depth to the content, and I think it's a little more evergreen. You'll go there, you'll see new stuff all the time. So I'm excited to see how people interact with Timeless Isle, how popular it is, how long it lasts for people, and that's what we always look at. We look at when we evaluate our game and how it's doing. We don't just look at what people are saying in the forums or what people are tweeting to us, although that's important. We're always looking at what people are actually doing in the game and looking at the numbers and seeing what people are engaged in and what they're doing. And so we're definitely going to be looking at this patch and the Timeless Isle really closely, because it's going to help us figure out what kinds of things you're going to be doing at max level in the next expansion. So exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited. The last thing that I wanted to touch on, and then I'll let you get back to your busy schedule, is there's a new feature in 5.4 called the Proving Grounds that lets you practice a role. Like, it lets you practice tanking or healing or DPSing. And now, what was the goal in this? Was it just to allow people to learn something without the pressure of a group, or was it to help them engage in these new group activities, flex rating, the Timeless Isle, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head there. It's a low pressure environment to learn and practice these skills. Back before LFG, if you wanted to learn to tank, you got together with 4 friends that hopefully were pretty patient with you while you figured out the best way to tank, and you all learned together. With LFG, really the only way to learn to tank is to go into a dungeon and have 4 strangers yell at you. And that's pretty discouraging. Yeah, it's pretty discouraging, and certainly it's even worse in LFR, because now you have 24 people that would potentially yell at you for not tanking right. And we never had any kind of way in the game to practice being a tank or to feel like you've learned those skills, which are very, unique. Same with healing, honestly. So Proving Grounds is something we wanted to do for a while, and I'm glad we got it into patch 5.4 here. It's a low pressure solo environment where you can learn those skills and you can grade it on those skills. And what's nice is you'll then kind of have you'll have some bragging rights. So when people say like how good of a tank you are, you can say how long you lasted on the endless mode of the Proving Grounds, and you'll kind of have a measurement of your ability there. We'll probably keep playing with this idea. I think there may be some better ways to give you a measure of your skill that you can then share with other people. But in the meantime, this is a great way to learn those skills for new players to kind of test their gear, make sure they got their buttons in the right place, make sure they know how to do the basics of tanking and healing, and DPS for that matter, so that when they then do it with their guild, they've got some practice, they've got some experience under the belt. That's the main thing.
Now, is Proving Grounds only for max level players, or will low level players be able to use it as well?
I might be wrong on this, but I'm almost positive that as it's implemented, it's a level 90 feature. It's for when you get to max level in Pandaria to check it out.
Gotcha.
There's probably, if you wanted to level up with dungeons and you wanted to tank your way through level up dungeons, which most new players don't think to do, but maybe it's an option for new players. There's definitely a case to be made that if this feature is working out, that we'll want to make sure you can do it at any level. But that would be a future feature.
Yeah, either way, it would be it's good whether it's just for level 90. It would obviously be awesome if it was for everybody. I've been in some horrible leveling up LFGs, but I guess my last question for you is there anything that I missed? Is there anything that I should have mentioned that I didn't, or that you would like to say?
No, I think we hit the highlights, because between Siege of Orgrimmar, the legendary quest to the Timeless Isle, there is a lot to do in this. Actually, there's one more thing. I'll just leave it. I'll leave it out there. 2 words: noodle cart.
Noodle cart.
If you are an expert chef, we have a whole special quest line for you, where you can master sort of the ancient secrets of Pandaran noodle making, and then you can create your own vendor cart and distribute soup to players. It's some of the most powerful food in the game, and there's even a special custom solo scenario where you sort of run the noodle cart and try and serve a whole lot of hungry Pandaran.
I feel like role players are going to have an absolute ballpark with the noodle cart.
So it's just one of those little, I wouldn't call it a hidden feature, but it's something we snuck into the patch because we thought it'd be really cool. And there you go. So you will be able to establish your own noodle cart.
I'm just so excited for the new patch. I mean, that sounds redundant because I'm always excited about everything. I'm just like Panzer. If I had a title, I'd be like the excited. But I really am. I'm super pumped about all the features that are coming. I'm actually really very much looking forward to the Timeless Isle because I'm one of those people who is really excited about dailies for about 6 weeks. And then I'd seen enough blue exclamation points for a lifetime. But I'm super excited about the Timeless Isle. I'm super excited about flex ratings. Like I said, I haven't really been able to raid this expansion, and that was pretty much the reason, is they were raiding 10 man. I was around the 13th or 14th man. So hopefully I'll be able to actually raid with friends and guildies. Is flex rating going to be available cross server? I just thought of that question off the top of my head.
I think so. I think you can invite people cross realm.
Cool.
Again, we want to make sure you can bring people together. So if your friend doesn't happen to be on your server, it's a good idea to be able to get them raiding with you.
I'm super excited. Everything sounds really awesome. And for those of you watching who are still pretty unfamiliar with patch 5.4, I will have a video out like next week or the week after before the patch comes out on September 10th, overviewing everything. And thank you so much, Dave, for doing this interview. You were super helpful and informative, and you put up with my nonsense. So that says quite a bit about your character. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This has been a lot of fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video about patch 5.4 and maybe some of your questions have been answered, hopefully, if I did my job right. Thank you so much to Dave Kosak for being here with me today, and to the Blizzard team and to everybody involved in this. I very much appreciate it. And to all of you guys out there, I hope you are having a wonderful day. I love you all. You're in my hearts. I'll see you soon. Bye.